Things got tight late. New group, new players out there. How did you still find a way to execute and against a team that's played together for a while?
I mean, just our guys' communication. They were out there talking to each other, talking to new guys through, some of the actions. And, at the end of the day, the key is to put the ball in the hands of your best players. And we were able to do that, play through A little bit. Dennis, D'Angelo, all those guys, Rui, had big moments. But us communicating to them and them communicating amongst themselves, I think it allowed for us to, have a rhythm and some consistency.
Darvin, you got any just initial sense of the team vibe and how that is with the new blood in there and towards that end, kind of what you saw from Russell and Vanderbilt specifically out there on the floor?
I mean, they know what we're trying to do. We talked about that. The reason they were brought in here, not only because they're talented, but we believe that, they truly can help us make a strong push down the stretch. So we talked about it before the game. The 3 words we use: energy, effort, and urgency. Energy, effort, and urgency. And that's what we played with tonight against a very, very, very great ball club in Golden State. Championship pedigree through and through. Make you play the full shot clock, defend the full shot clock. Have to figure them out defensively. They have a really active, energetic defense. But it's a huge win, man. I couldn't be more proud of my team.
Darvin, sorry, Dave. I have a lot to ask.
Dan.
I like that there's we're 2 of the only people old enough in here to get that reference. Austin wasn't really regarded as a defender coming into this league. What did you think of the job he did on Clay in the fourth quarter tonight? And I guess secondarily, now that, he's back, you had AD in the back line, you had Vanderbilt. How different can this team be on that side of the ball?
I think we can be elite. Vandy, the way he rebounds, his activity, he can block shots. Winion had some good moments, changing up shots, rebounding. Obviously, AD, that's what he does. And then you mentioned Austin, to start out. Those first 2 words I mentioned, he represents those, energy and effort. And he's scrappy, he's smart, he understands what we're trying to get done within the defensive game plan. And you saw it. He has that moxie. He's crafty on both sides of the ball, and even defensively, the way he tries to blow up DHOs, getting over pick and rolls, closing the gap on the ball, and then getting under real quick in pick and roll defense, playing on the ball. He's just a scrapper, and he does his work early. So, he does what he does offensively, but defensively, he has a high IQ, and again, he has that energy that he puts into that side of the ball.
Darvin, what do you make of AD's night? He doesn't shoot all that well from the field, but he has those 2 blocks late against Clay and DiVincenzo. Do you think some of the shooting was maybe the new personnel not necessarily knowing his spots and him, taking up awkward shots he wouldn't normally take? And then just a question about the perseverance to be able to still affect the game late on the defensive end.
I just think, he's working himself back in a game shape. His touch, like I said, Golden State, from Draymond to Wiggs, Jermichael, Looney, all those guys are extremely smart defenders. And even the smalls, they'll dart in there. Once he puts the ball on the floor, he turns his back. They're showing a crowd. They're darting in there, getting their hands on, deflections or whatnot. So it's a really unorthodox yet effective defense to try to go against. And but he stood, he had some tough moments at points, but he stayed with it, and again, he's a guy that's a 2-way player. So you felt his presence on defense. He drew a lot of attention on offense. We were able to get, I thought, some easy looks at the rim, layup just with him being in the pick and roll, setting a good screen and rolling, them being concerned about his role. So, but he plays effectively and at a high level on both sides of the ball. You saw that with those late blocks.
Darvin, I asked you last time about Dennis in these games, but obviously you got a lot of new rotation pieces to juggle and a lot of different ways you could go. Dennis in the starting and closing lineups, what do you think he adds to the group season when he gets that nod?
Just fearlessness. He's fearless. He's not afraid to go make a play. He's not afraid to take a shot. He's not afraid to go attack the rim, even though he may get knocked down or guard take the toughest matchup defensively on the perimeter. The kid is just fearless, and with those type of guys, you can't have enough of. And it's the reason why I love him, the reason why I keep him in the mix as much as I possibly can, because I know he's going to make a play for us on both sides of the ball. He's another one. He's a two-way player.